Hi, boys and girls. This is Mr. Blackman. We're going to be talking about being thankful today. Thankful for all the people that are in our lives and the things that they do for us to help us through these times that we are experiencing at home. I did a little act of kindness the other day that I didn't think really was that big a deal. But when my neighbor came back and taped a thank you card to my front door, he said, "Thank you for the silly bugs. They made my heart smile. Stay safe. Love, Harvey." Harvey's my little neighbor. He was thankful for my act of kindness. All right, guys, today we're going to be talking about showing our appreciation with saying thank you with superheroes. You will need construction paper, scissors, pencils, markers, and glue. This is going to be a fairly simple activity. All right, so here we go. Superhero thank you cards. All right, we're going to be making a Wonder Woman card today because she's one of our superheroes. And we're going to start off with a basic sheet of construction paper. Now, I do not have a small hand, so I had to improvise and create a small hand. So forgive my drawing. But this is my small hand that we're going to be using today. The first thing you'll need to do is use your smaller hand and trace it. Make sure that you're tracing on a folded edge. Your wrist is on the folded edge of your paper right here, like that. All right, next, once you have this made, you're going to be cutting out your hand. Never thought that I would need a smaller hand for an activity, but that's the way it works. I chose the symbol of a hand because our hands show connections. Normally when we first meet someone, you shake their hand, but not now. That's not a good idea. But that's a device for connecting us to others. A symbol of connection is the hand. So that's why I chose the hand as our subject. Notice I am turning my paper as I am cutting out my fingers. If you're not very good with scissors, remember that little tip next time you're cutting. All right, almost done with my cutting. And remember, save your scrap paper because, you know, during this time that we're home, you might need that scrap for something else, so hang on to it. All right, so now I have my hand cut out. And by lifting up on my hand, I have an opening, just like a card would have with that folded edge, if you did it correctly. All right, if not, you have to start with step one. All right, as I was thinking about symbols and this superhero, I decided that maybe I would need some superhero colors. Now, when you start thinking about that palette of superhero colors, you may want to use these colors, these bright, bold colors, reds and yellows and blues and greens and blacks and whites. All right, so when I think about the traditional Wonder Woman design, normally part of her costume is blue and they have red and white, and gold. So I got out some gold paper and I measured it by using the shape of my hand, and I made a headgear piece for her. Just a simple design. Look up your superhero before you start so that you can have an idea of what their costume looks like. And when I had that, I also cut out a star for, oops, there it goes, a star for her headgear. So I'll be using that a little later. So after I did my measuring, next we'll be cutting. So I'm going to cut out her headgear here. All superheroes have different things they bring to us. And you're going to see some more that I've made. Okay, I'm going to save my scraps. This is going to be my headgear. I'm going to use a little glue to attach this on the back. Just a little bit at the bottom using my glue stick. Ah, there we go. Now for my star. All these little details are going to make your thank you card really cool. These thank you cards have a specific purpose. we're going to be sharing them with others. All right, to make this look a little more like Wonder Woman, I'm going to add some more stars. First thing you'll probably say is I can't draw a star, so watch carefully. Up with a line, down with a line, up but not all the way up with another line from this corner, straight across, and then connect these two. Now if it's not absolutely perfect, you can go back and add and tweak your design. Now you could cut these out of paper like I did this one, or you could draw them on, depending on what colors you have. Okay, and you may want to add more stars to the design. That would be really cool. All right, the more we practice, the better you get. Now, if you ever looked at comic magazines or comic strips and newspapers, when the character begins to speak, they speak into a bubble that's designed just for comic strips, for characters. That happened a long time ago when they did print a lot of comic strips, and superheroes were part of that. These are called speech bubbles, and I'll show you how those look in a moment. I'm just going to keep adding some stars here until I'm kind of pleased with what I have. Aren't you glad I decided not to have you draw the actual action figure? Oh, that would probably have taken you a long, long time. All right, let me add a few more stars down here. All right. I used to watch the superheroes when I was growing up. Still kind of enjoy watching them. All right, another one of my favorites, Batman. All right, so I've added my stars in. That's kind of Wonder Woman-like. Don't forget your friend black when you're doing comic strips and comic characters and superheroes. A little black to outline your... Sorry, I had to get my glasses. To outline parts of your design. Really make it stand out. Adds that little extra pop. As I'm working off my paper, I want to get a piece of blotter paper back here in the back so it doesn't end up on my table. Remember that when you're working at home doing art projects, your parents would probably appreciate that if you were to use a piece of blotter paper behind your work. Cool thing to do with these when you're done is to give them to people that are impacting your life right now. They were giving you the things you need. People that work at the grocery store, your postman, people that may work at a pharmacy or a hospital. Just let those people know that they're special. Okay, now, did a pretty good job on the outside. I'm pleased with that. Now for my inside part. When you're doing a speech bubble, they can have all kinds of shapes and sizes, and to kind of enhance what you're doing. Now, before I get started, I'm going to kind of measure this to make sure I want my speech bubble to fit inside. So I'm going to do a simple one for you. You can look around at some speech bubbles, get some ideas. Remember, the speech bubbles are echoing up from the person that is actually speaking. I'm going to make this really simple, and I'm just going to go and kind of cut around it. I'm gonna just leave my line there that I drew, because I have a purpose for that later. Gonna give it that superhero comic look. I'm gonna cut all these out. I'm gonna cut around them because that speech bubble is all kind of connected as one part of your project. All right. Ah, look, it fits. If I turn it down one of the fingers, that gives you a kind of a cool place to write. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach that. Put a little glue on the back. Remember, that's your magnet. Holds on to things and picks things up. All right, now I'm gonna add my speech balloon right in there. Cool. Now, I'm going to go back and outline my pencil lines. Kind of gives it that comic superhero look. The more time you take, the more details you add, the better it's going to be, the more proud you're going to be of your work, especially when you give it to those people that you may meet along the way that are impacting your life. Give them a little smile on their face because you thought of them and what they do as being impactful to your life. All right, there's my Wonder Woman, okay? Pretty cool job, I like that. Now I just need to think of a quote that I could put on the inside about how thankful I am for the person, or you're a superhero for me. Okay, I'll show you a couple of ideas that I did also for some other superheroes. Ta-da! Spider-Man, yeah, I like Spider-Man. And Batman, of course. And on the insides, I thought about my speech bubbles. Open these up, it's like pow, wow inside. Kind of a cool spiky design with that outline again. So that's my Batman with his symbol and eyes. And of course, we can't forget this friend right here, Spider-Man. So I kind of use that same design again, but that's okay. All right, so you guys, think of your superheroes. Think of the people that are impacting your life right now, your parents, your people that you may meet along the way that are their jobs are out there and they're working every day. And give them a thank you card, guys. They'll really appreciate it. Have fun doing this, and we'll see you guys next time.